Hello, hello, everybody. It's Dr. Susan Bernstein, and I'm so happy to be with you for another episode of Leadership Lessons. And today I'm excited to talk about something that lots of people struggle with in leadership, and that is. So today I'm going to be talking about episode 3 is what do I need to do to get promoted into leadership? And before I jump in, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Susan Bernstein. I'm an executive coach and leadership consultant, and my mission is to help you master the strategy and psychology to elevate your leadership. You'll find me at drsusanbernstein.com. So today we're going to look at getting promoted. And here's something that I know, it can be really hard to feel like you can get promoted. I believe that one of the things that happens when we're trying, hang on, I'm just going to pull up my slide here. There we go. Yep. Okay, I'm having a little bit of trouble. So it can be frustrating to not know what you need to do to get promoted. First of all, the promotion process seems hidden. It's like a black box. I have lots of clients tell me, gosh, I'm trying to move up, but I don't even know what's required. Even if I go look at the job description, sometimes it's still mystifying. So hardly ever anyone talks about how to actually do it, especially inside of companies, I find. And if you ask your manager, so what do I need to do to get promoted? I have so many clients tell me that their manager will say, oh, you just need to speak up, or you just need to keep doing a good job. And it's so vague, it doesn't help. Have you been experiencing that? A manager or somebody else telling you, somebody higher up than you telling you, just keep doing what you're doing. You're doing a great job. And it's like, no, generally to move up to the next level, you have to do some different things. And I will talk about those. But those things can be really elusive. And even if promotion criteria are written and clear, you may not be getting a full story. I've had people tell me, I meet all the criteria. Why aren't I getting promoted? You could ask other people how they got promoted, which can be a good strategy, but often they don't know. Like, I'm not totally sure what got me promoted. They don't know the exact criteria. Or it may, especially inside a company, especially if there are limited management positions, limited leadership roles, they may not want to share. It may be against their own best interest to share. And then the higher you climb in a company, the fewer people the fewer positions that are available. And so there are more and more people vying for fewer and fewer roles, right? As you move up a pyramid of, usually in an organization, the top, there's very few positions, and the bottom, there's more. Now, there are flatter organizations, but in these hierarchical ones, no, not so much. And some companies hire from the outside, so you may even have broader competition. So what are you supposed to do in those kinds of cases? Well, that's what I want to talk about now. I want to move into some things that you can actually do that are general strategies that I've seen work really nicely for people. So let's talk about those. Hang on a second. I'm having a little bit of a hard time getting to my thing. There we go. Whoops, I'm going the wrong direction. So here's the general principle. To be promoted into leadership, you need to demonstrate you're already a leader by making some very reliable shifts. So the first of those is to widen your lens, to go from being tactical in the details to strategic. This is a huge piece that takes time for most people to take on, but it's hugely helpful to see that way. This is why some people go get MBAs. I'm not recommending that everybody needs to run out and get an MBA, but an MBA perspective gives you the whole bigger picture. So it's like, are you looking at the roots and the limbs and the branches of a tree, or are you looking at the forest or a grove? So when you go from tactical to strategic, you're moving from the details to the big picture. You're moving from short-term orientation, like a few weeks, a few months, maybe a year, can be short-term, to longer-term, beyond a year, as far out as your company can see. And then you're moving from being solution oriented, and solutions are great. We want people who solve, but also innovation. Leaders are innovating. They're looking beyond the way things have been thought of and thinking in new and innovative ways. So what are you doing to shift from tactical and operational to strategic? Another move to make is to build strong connections and influence so that you're seen as a leader more than an individual contributor. So lots of people are good at their individual work, but they're not connected. Who are you connected to in your organization? And also these days outside of your organization where you're building influence. You're not just know a lot of people, but you're able to influence. You have something of value, something you can teach somebody, some way that you can help them make a connection. You can introduce people to other people. You can provide resources. You know, often the people in an organization who are most in control are the ones who have resources like money, like people. So what can you be doing to build those things? To be a leader, you also want to move from looking for work to do, like, hey, what do you got for me to work on, or projects. You want to lead viewpoints. You want to have ideas or viewpoints or a project to lead that you can promote. So what is it inside of your organization that needs doing, that needs a team that you could head up? Those are opportunities to demonstrate your leadership that you want to be taking. And then instead of getting all the work done yourself, you do not want to be as a leader, the person who's always like, I'm staying late, I'm finishing. You want to start to delegate more. Leaders have followers, they have people who work with and for them. And so you need to get comfortable, and often it's uncomfortable to ask people, hey, would you do this? So learning skills to delegate work, learning ways to say that and be comfortable with, oh my gosh, I'm not getting it done myself. And oh, I just, you know, the thoughts, setting aside the thoughts of I just burdened somebody else. How about maybe you're growing somebody else in their leadership, in their skills by delegating? So there are some shifts that need to be made from starting to enabling yourself to go from individual contributor, getting all the work done, staying late, to delegating out more. Also, rather than asking for permission to do something, is it okay if I fill in the blank? Start to take wise risks. And there was an expression I learned when I was in management consulting. It's not just for management consulting, but it could be useful to you. And that is the expression of learn to ask for forgiveness instead of permission, meaning take risks. So if there's something that you want to do, instead of saying, could I, you want to say, hey, this is what I'm thinking about, and unless you object, I'm moving forward with this. Now, you want to say that in a kind and thoughtful way, not, you know, witchy or something else. So think about how you deliver that, but it is about learning to speak up and not feel like you have to ask permission, because that kind of puts you one level down. You also don't want to be domineering, so you are going to have to find a healthy balance with that. And that's something I work with people on. All of these are things I work with people on. Move from being an individual contributor to someone who leads teams, even informally. Is there some small initiative that you could take a lead on and have other people on the team where you're setting the vision and moving things forward? And finally, go for, oh, excuse me, I may have more. Go from waiting for guidance to being the guide. What is it that you have special expertise on that you need to get that out? How can you share your points of view, your knowledge, your wisdom, your experiences that you've had? How can you do that and be the guide instead of waiting for guidance? So followers wait, I'll see what they want me to do. Leaders take hold of a vision and guide people towards it. So what can you do to take your next steps to leadership? I always like to make these leadership lessons practical. So here are some practical things for you to do. First, choose one of the leadership moves from today's presentation. Pick one for right now. What strikes you the most? Write down what habits you're going to need to change to shift into that mode of leadership. And then get with your manager or your mentor, your sponsor, your coach, and plan out how you're going to take action on that leadership move over the next 3 months. this is something that I do a lot with my clients, is look at leadership moves that they can be taking and start to get strategic and plan those moves out. And then run weekly experiments to test out your new actions and ways of being, and document your results and insights. Again, this is great work to do with a coach. So I would love to know, hopefully that was helpful to you. I would love to know, what other leadership issues do you want me to talk about? I hope you'll let me know. Drop me a line anytime at hello@drsusanbernstein.com. And I hope you'll join me. Thank you so much for joining today. I hope you'll join me weekly. On Mondays, I host Mind Body Mondays, which are micro shifts for resilient leaders, little short actions that you can take to build your resilience from the inside out. And then this is a Wednesday webcast. Each Wednesday, I do leadership lessons with Dr. Susan, and you can subscribe at crowdcast.io/Dr. Susan Bernstein. By the way, these wind up on YouTube, so you can go on YouTube, put in Dr. Susan Bernstein, and you can watch any of the back episodes. And I hope you'll subscribe so that you get notifications. So twice a week, I've got guidance for you to help you with your leadership. And then if you are a leader who's at a crossroads, you might be at a crossroads with difficult people you're working with. You might be at a crossroads about your position. Maybe you've outgrown it. Maybe you've stepped into something that you're feeling, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Or maybe you need to build your presence at this crossroads. You're like, I've got to build my confidence. I need to show my executive presence. Anything like that that you're working on, that you need support with, I'd love to talk to you. You can always email or call me to apply for a complimentary leadership consultation. You can do that by reaching out to me at hello@drsusanbernstein.com or call me at 415-508-8250 outside the US. Just add a 1 to that. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you got a lot out of it. If you did and you're watching on YouTube, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe. I would love to have you as part of this audience, and always love to hear from you how these ideas help you. Thanks so much for being with me. Take care, and bye for now, everybody. Wishing you well in your leadership.